ears and really listen, because this is going to mean so much. The power of voting, it really means so much. And here to share with you, to emphasize what the value of your vote on Tuesday will mean, is Mr. Sandy Lee. Hi, how are you?
Hello, everyone. How are you this afternoon?
I'm doing great. So, Mr. Lee, you are an attorney?
Yes, ma'am. I'm an attorney and an appointed special judge.
Yeah. Okay. So, how long have you been practicing law?
I've been practicing law almost 10 years.
Almost 10 years. That's
Almost
a long
10
time.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you have a lot of experience in the law field.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're the right guy for the job.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us, to my listeners here on Connected Radio, what particular court are you running for and what that means?
I'm running for Circuit Court Judge Place 3. It's a criminal court in Jefferson County in the Birmingham Division. It's the court that handles felony type cases.
And you went to UAB?
Yes, ma'am.
Go Blazers. That's the reason right there why you should vote. If no, okay, I'm sorry. I'm not handing out endorsements today. I'm just wanting to make sure that the people are well informed about why they are making the vote, and that they can feel confident that they are choosing the right person for the job. So, in this position, you will be in charge of doing what exactly?
Handling jury trials for felony type cases, murder cases, kidnapping, robbery cases of first degree, manslaughter, criminal crimes against children, crimes against women, human trafficking, drug trafficking, what we call the big boy crimes.
Yeah, that is some heavy stuff. And what do you know about all of that?
Well, ma'am, I've been a police officer almost 20 years.
Wow.
So I used to catch those type of people. And I've been on the street, boots on the ground for that long. Before I decided to go back to law school at night at Birmingham School of Law.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you have been really in the field, and then in the courtrooms, and
Yes,
then
ma'am.
in the judge's seat, and now you want to make that a permanent position.
Yes, ma'am. I've been in the judge seat in the juvenile court, and I can also sit in district court or municipal or circuit court. So I'm a special type judge that the judges will send me if I need to. When a judge needs to be off or get sick, I can go in and sit in anybody's criminal court and rule from the bench.
Wow. So, what sets you apart from your other opponents who are running in this election as well?
Well, ma'am, I think it's my experience in law enforcement, my experience as a defense attorney, and my experience as sitting as a special judge. I don't think any of my opponents can say that they've caught the bad guy, they've defended the bad guy, and they've also judged the bad guy. So I'm well-rounded on the bench, and I'm also from the streets of dealing with people there. So I can meet the people from where they are. I can actually not imagine what a crime scene looked like, because I was out there on the crime scene. I know what a murder scene looked like. I know what a child dismemberment looked like. I know what a drug scene looked like, and I know what suicide, anything else that come down the pike from being a police officer all these years look like. I don't have to sit up there and imagine, look at a piece of paper and read off what I think happened. I was actually out there and saw what happened. So that's what sets me apart from my opponents.
Wow, that brings a lot of comfort, given that one major argument in the community as why we have this disconnect with law enforcement is because they're not from here. They're coming from other states and then policing in our neighborhoods and don't know the people. And so you're telling us that you've been here in these streets, and so you understand the culture.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
when you get into that seat, if you are elected, if you win this election, how do you plan to change the culture and the stigma that today's generation has against law enforcement and following simple rules?
Well, ma'am, to educate people on how judges work or attorneys work or even police officers work, it starts with having respect. And if you give respect, you'll get respect.
Mm-hmm.
And the police officers out here got a hard job to do. And most of the time, I've never been called to anything positive. It's always been bad. So some police officers have to learn to disassociate themselves and turn that thing off when they go home, because it will eat you up after 20 or 30 years. So you need to be able to relate to the people, speak to the people, because you are a person. And I used to tell all officers, even the guys I would train, is, look, when you're dealing with the public, deal with them as if they're your mother or your sister or your grandmother or your brother. Treat them the way that you want to be treated if a police officer stops you and you're not in uniform. So if most police officers live by that rule, they wouldn't have any problem with dealing with the public.
Wow, I think that if most of anybody follows those rules, how about we all take that note and treat everybody with dignity and respect? And maybe we'll be a little further off, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So let me just go ahead and just be totally honest. Many people today and for a long time coming have voted for the person someone has told them to. My grandmother said we're voting Democrat down the ballot, or vote for such and such because he went to the church that we grew up in, and And so what? Or they're voting for the person who has similar values. So tell us something that will make us feel like we already know you.
Well, ma'am, you can tell my accent. I'm a country boy. So I'm from the country, and basically, country people, when they tell you something, you can pretty much take it to the bank. I'm honest. I've always been honest. I've always been fair, but I've always been firm and tough. And I'm a big guy. I don't take much off anybody. But I don't let. I also not only do I take anything, but I don't let anybody bother anybody. I was always the guy that would face the bully in school. So to protect, to serve and protect has always been my motto. I don't like bullies. I don't like people that look down on people because of their social status, and I definitely don't like people who pick on people. So I guess you would say that I more have that protective type nature because I'm the oldest out of five. So I was always the big brother, and so if anything need to be handled, pretty much I handle it. And even on the sheriff department or the police department, the guys knew that if they got into a fight or got into something, I wasn't gonna run. They didn't have to worry about that. That I had their back. Same thing with the attorneys that I deal with in court. If we're in it, we're in it. Same thing with the judges that I go up and sit for. They know and trust their bench to me to know I'm gonna do a good job. So I guess the protective nature, and really just having common sense and knowing how to speak to people. I've always been able to meet people where they are.
Mm.
So that's very important.
Yeah, that is very important to meet people where they are and not go too high trying to reach them, enforcing tactics that they aren't ready to pick up on. And so, can you make it real for us, Mr. Lee? If we vote for the wrong person, what does that mean for our everyday circumstances, or when we do need to have these very important trials and cases dealt with? How does that affect us?
Well, ma'am, if you vote for the wrong person and put them in there and they're not tough enough, then you're going to have recidivism. You're going to have people that go back out and do the same thing time after time after time. Now, you can only be dead one time. The victim is only get one chance to be dead. But the defendant, if he goes out and the judge lets him out time and time again, he's going to commit another crime. Now, that might go back to education. That might go back to social economic status. Everybody's not from the same place.
Mm-hmm.
So you want a judge on the bench really that's going to protect the citizens. They're going to protect, and think about the victim. People so hung up on the defenders right now. You saying that's strange for me to say because I'm a defense attorney. But I used to tell my people all the time, okay, you did it. And so we on this need to work with the court system and try to maybe lessen your punishment, probably get you in the right program so you can become productive. But I never lie for them. I have clients that stand up there, and I know some lawyers that flat out lie. But at the end of the day, I got to face a God at the end of my life and atone for what I did. So I'm probably the only attorney that stand in court, and I guess I advise you not to say this, but judge, my client would like to speak to you. Because if they tell me a lie and I know they lying, then I won't get up and repeat it. And it goes back to my upbringing. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul?
Mm.
So that might set me apart. Not a lot of people might not like that, but I'm not gonna tell you a lie. Some of my clients say, "What do you think I'm gonna get? Do it look good?" No, it don't look good. I'm just gonna tell you. But we gonna get in here and we gonna ask the judge for mercy. We gonna tell the judge that we messed up and that we know we messed up, and we like to own up to what we did as a man or as a woman, and get the judge to possibly give us another chance. Give us a chance to make it right if we can.
Okay, well, you are talking a good game, and I would love to see you walk it like you're talking,
yes, ma'am.
Okay? Here on Connected Radio, we care all about social issues such as this one. We understand that your vote matters, and if you will just stay with us to the break, we will get deeper into this, and we're going to have a good show, guys. I promise. Stay connected. See you on the other side.